paranoid because I
Okay.
lock off everything. All right, we're trying this again. I'm a little paranoid to go on Instagram Live. So we're going to keep it to where we originated, okay? My apologies, my apologies, my apologies. If anyone has logged on and was not able to see us, we had some connection issues, but we're back like we never left. My name is Miss Kiana Hines. I am the CEO of the Tony Rose Foundation, Inc., and you guys are joining Live After Loss. This is our YouTube live series. This is our second live of the year, and we are here with Miss Nicole Jones. Now, before I get into who Miss Nicole Jones is, I want to talk about what the discussion is that we're talking about today. Talking about self-care and grief. I know it's a little taboo, right? You don't really talk about sadness when it comes to getting ready, but there's so much intertwined with that. So I'm really excited to be here to have this discussion, and we're gonna start this up. So again, my name is Kiana Hines. I am a registered nurse, along with being the CEO of the Tony Rose Foundation, Inc. I'm a mom. Through my work and my own personal experience with loss, I've learned that grief impacts just about every aspect of our lives, including how we care for ourselves. Tonight's conversation is not about telling anyone how they should grieve. Big disclaimer. It's more about exploring how self care can become a tool that supports us while we navigate loss. Now, before we begin, I want to acknowledge that grief looks different for everyone. Okay. Some days getting out of bed is a victory, and then some days just brushing your teeth feels impossible. Okay. But if that's where you are, please know this conversation is meant to just encourage, it's not to give pressure or shame. All right. Give yourself grace. So I am excited to be joined by someone who understands wellness from both a clinical and holistic perspective. I'm here with the lovely Miss Nicole Jones. She's the owner of Studio Nikki Spice, a multi specialty wellness center in Brooklyn, New York, built around the philosophy of wellness through beautification. She's a licensed cosmetologist and certified trichologist with a degree in marketing and management, blending clinical hair and scalp care and holistic beauty services all together. Chef's kiss. Nicole is deeply committed to community outreach through initiatives including Ladies in Medicine and You in Beauty, and she is currently relaunching her hair agency, Beyond Cranial Beauty, and is one of my closest confidants. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for pulling up. It is a lot going on this past month. I know our time is limited. I'm so grateful that you are squeezing me in, but we're going to get this done, okay? Besides all of those accomplishments, she's also a devoted mother of two. She loves the Lord and leads in faith in everything she builds. Again, thank you for coming here.
Thank
So,
you for
Nikki,
having me.
thank you. Nikki, when you hear the words self care and grief together, what do you think? What comes to mind?
I think balance. Because both, well, grief hits you, right? And then self care is something that you, I would say, be intentional about. So when I hear both, I think balance. I think finding that time, or someone finding the time to woosah, through the processing of grief, through wellness is balance. That's how I see it. Balance, because as you know, going through such a time is hard, right?
Yes, exactly.
So mental
Doing
balance.
like doing simple tasks like
Yeah,
showering, doing your hair,
yeah,
eating, even getting dressed sometimes feels so overwhelming. Okay, trust me,
yeah,
I get it. From
yeah.
your experience, I know my a salon was probably my first real notion of therapy, right? In the black community, we know even women and men, right?
Mm.
We walk into a salon, we walk into a barbershop, we're ready to tell
Yeah,
tell it
no, no, yeah,
a
yeah,
lot comes out
yes,
in
yeah,
that chair,
yep,
right?
Yep.
Can you share an experience with, having someone come in, feeling overwhelmed about life and seeing a complete turnaround by the time they're leaving the door?
So, as Kiana shared, my space is built around wellness, because I feel once you achieve wellness, you're able to tackle anything, even when life seems hard. If we're able to channel wellness, things become a little bit easier. And I'm not saying it will be easy, but the journey, you're able to move through it. So one of the things that I highlighted throughout my space, even though I'm transitioning right now, are quotes. And I could give a lot of examples as to stories. Person sitting in the chair, person's entering, reading stuff on the wall and being inspired.
Mm-hmm.
um, Most recent, prior to relocating, one of the stylists at the space, a new client came in, and when she came in, she started to cry. She
Mm.
cried, she embraced her, she hugged her. First time meeting, didn't even say, what's going on or what's happening with your hair. She entered, started to cry, embraced, and said, "I needed this." So
I
the
felt that.
environment
Yeah.
itself, right? No,
Hmm.
yes, the environment itself, without even giving all the stories I could share so many, um, creates the release, because it's an equilibrium thing, right? Balance.
Yes, I agree.
Create the release where one is able to now release through a wellness space, right? Hair, skin, and nails,
Hmm.
and feel like now they're able to tackle,
Yeah, I
you know,
agree.
yeah.
I agree. When you are under stress, well, not even stress, when you're depressed, when you're under grief, your brains and bodies are under stress, right? So we often automatically go into survival mode. That's why self-care sometimes can feel unimportant because we're focused on simple things trying to get through the day, and you were talking
Mm-hmm.
about, I don't care how I look. I need to get my daughter to school this morning. Like, I was up crying since 4 a.m. Like, I got to do this, that, and the other. You're not even thinking about that. So, again, I commend you as a beautician and as a wellness expertise for even, having just thank you for your hands, girlfriend. You have no idea. Sometimes it's the little things, it's the little things that go a
Yeah,
long way.
so true.
Um, let's see. What happens when like I know we were leading into this, but when someone finally takes that step of like getting dressed, styling their hair, showing up for themselves after a difficult period, how do you feel your beautification connects to their confidence and healing?
So if you look good, you feel good. I
Period.
still do have clients, when they're going through any kind of, one client particularly, she has lupus,
Mm-hmm.
and whenever she starts to feel a flare, I don't know how intense that flare would be for her, she would come in for a service, and it would literally help her. It would literally help to create balance and wellness for her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Getting up and getting dressed, and I'm sorry, my little one is walking towards me. Getting up and getting dressed, though it can be a hard task, and I could speak about the difficulty of getting out of bed, not
Mm-hmm.
wanting to getting out of bed, having to get up and show up because I have children, because I have a business, and going through my own battles and it being hard, to when I actually did it, because there was a period for me, and one period I can highlight. It was when Kiana actually, um, told me to get up. We're going to a comedy show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I got dressed, didn't feel it, almost canceled, and got dressed,
Girl,
went.
that was the date when I found out you was lit and you knew you knew so many people in Brooklyn. I was like, she's the one. That was the date. I was so proud, but continue.
But that literally helped me to secure some kind of wellness. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to get dressed. I didn't want to get out of bed.
Hmm.
Um, but being encouraged to do so and to go out, it made me feel, revived in that moment. Like I can.
Hmm.
Like possible. And even though the clouds of how I was feeling was still lingering and still there, that moment helped me, right? So
Hmm.
it's like the one step at a time, and then maybe you go back a little bit. But
Yeah.
having those moments, it definitely encourages me to, or anyone, um, to get to a point where it gets better.
Yeah.
Not easy. And it took some time even after that outing, because that was, I would say, 3 years before starting feeling better.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it helped. It encouraged me to do a little more.
Yeah. Beautification isn't vanity, right? It can be an act of self respect and self preservation. So, what you're saying is actually spot on. There's actual science behind all of it, too, like activities like grooming, dressing intentionally, maintaining routines. It can help improve mood, reduce stress, and create a sense of normalcy during difficult times. Plus, your skin, my skin. The, the, the results speak for themselves. They're just, okay? I remember after losing my mom, though, I didn't even want to look in the mirror for months. And when I finally did, I was quite surprised of
Mm,
what was looking at me, right? Nikki,
yeah.
you actually did my twist out for the funeral. I appreciate you
Yeah.
because I don't know what I
Yeah.
would have went looking like if that was the case.
I
But
got you.
I was functioning, I was working, I was parenting.
Hmm.
But I wasn't always connected to who I was actually becoming, Sometimes healing isn't really about getting back to who you were, but more so just meeting yourself where you are then and like low key preparing yourself for where you're about to go.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, well, I think you just spoke on it, but I was gonna inquire and say, have you ever, gone through a season where you felt disconnected from yourself?
Yes. No, I can elaborate on that honestly. Um, so let's create a whole scene. Um, got pregnant in 2019. Um, opened the business 2018. Got pregnant 2019. Delivered 2020. New business. Pandemic struck 2020. And had postpartum depression. Wasn't diagnosed, but afterwards I'm able to identify what that was. And feeling alone in a business that was a huge brick and mortar with a huge overhead,
Mm-hmm.
and felt like struggling. So that was my introduction to depression. And I
Mm.
didn't know that I was experiencing that. And those who know me before, my hair is always done. I'm always dressed. People considered me a fashionista for some reason. I don't know.
Period.
But I enjoyed getting dressed and looking good, and, trying different clothing and stuff like that, to the point where I didn't want to do my hair. There's a hat that I'm sure a lot of people want to burn. It never came off my head. Okay. So I understood, and the part where I had to get up, because I had a 10-year-old at the time with the baby, and she had to go to school, and caring for the baby, and I was breastfeeding. So trying to create balance and not pass anything to the child, but
Mhm.
believing in breastfeeding and knowing that my hormones was all over the place, high cortisol level,
Yeah. You
feeling
added
guilty.
more stress to
Oh,
yourself.
feeling guilty, feeling like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do for my business. So it was a time.
What self care regimen or was something that you did that made you feel like you reconnected a little bit with yourself?
Um, one of which I am able to identify was going to the comedy show.
Okay. So
Uh,
outside.
no, yeah, you pulling me out actually, because I
Period.
was gonna go. I was gonna cancel. You
Yes.
pulling me out and me taking the time to actually do my hair.
And I actually think Cardi B, from the words of Cardi B, she, she had an interview one time and she said, You know, when you're not feeling good, get your friends and you go outside, end quote. All right.
Well, that's what you did, girl.
It helps. It
It did.
helps.
It did help. You said to me, "You want a drink?" And I was like, "Yeah, let me get a drink." This is what we do outside, right? We get a drink. So that
Yeah.
I remember feeling alive,
Good.
feeling
That's where community comes in too, you know. So I'm about to
community.
segue right into that. So people
Mm,
often think
girl,
grief
'cause-
only shows up after death, right? But grief can show up anytime we're forced to say goodbye to something meaningful, right?
mhm.
Today we tap into this a little bit different because we're not just talking about beauty. We're talking about community. We're talking about identity. We're talking about healing and the spaces that hold us together during life's hardest moments. Can I get a amen?
Girl.
Studio Nikki Spice became one of those spaces for me. Very, very grateful. When I first started coming here, I was navigating my own grief journey, my own ups and downs, being a single mom, trying to figure it out. And what I thought was just a hair appointment became a place of connection, laughter, support, healing, and networking. I got like 12 business deals walking through that door. Like I tell people that all the time, okay? I've met incredible women. We shared stories, we cried, we celebrated milestones, right? I found pieces of myself again. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that can speak on that. I think there's some people in the chat saying how much they love Nikki and Studio Nikki Spice. So
Thank you.
I am grateful again for all that you do.
Thank
Now, right now, we're in a transition season for Studio Nikki Spice. You mentioned it earlier, but I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to segue. So we have officially moved locations.
We have
I
officially
want
moved
to
this.
talk to you about that, the feelings behind that, the ups and downs. Had to sell a house and pack up a house, so I'm already there with you mentally
Yes.
with all of the packing and the moving. But like, just walk us through the feels of what's going on right now, because this is grief in a sense too, right? It's like it's a pivot, but it's definitely grief.
I went through all the emotions, honey.
Mm-hmm.
You watch
Mm-hmm.
is the movie called Emotions, the kid fiction?
Mm-hmm. Here we go. Every character.
Every one of them, okay? Um Sometimes, a lot of times, um we don't listen, me, to God. Sometimes I walk in front when I should allow him to lead.
Woo! Say that again.
Yeah, sometimes we ought to just be still. And sometimes we get comfortable in what is and afraid of what the unknown and what it should be. And I think I got a bit comfortable. And through the comfort, I was forced or shaken up to move because there was no, I was holding on.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we hold on to what needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, it felt like starting over, but my perspective was not where it ought to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it was I don't want to start over. Do I really want to continue this? But it wasn't a start over. And it was a reminder that a shift, a pivot, or whatever life brings, because life is going to life.
Mm-hmm.
Life is going to bring the unexpected a lot of times, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean a start over.
Mm-hmm.
It's a continuation. A continuation can be from square one,
Yeah,
but
was
with the
it
addition,
26?
right? But are you at square one if you have now acquired wisdom,
Right. Yeah.
right? No, it's the ability to apply the wisdom and to move
Mm-hmm.
differently
Pivot.
and pivot. So with that, I have transitioned into not as big as the space I was at,
Mm-hmm.
but still a beautiful space,
Mm-hmm.
a space that will hug you more,
Mm-hmm.
right? Hug you more and ensure that when you leave, and though when you left there, you left with something great, but this space will allow you to, feel the embrace more. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that.
Well, girl, I've known you before the brick and mortar, and when
Yeah.
had the studio, it wasn't even a studio; it was the corner. You had the corner booth in the
Yep.
back.
Yep.
From
Yep.
that to the, to the big brick and mortar, it didn't
You
matter
seen
what
the
size it is.
transition.
The energy is always gonna exude. So spot on. Okay. Um, you said I think you answered this. Oh well, you answered this somewhat. How has faith played a significant role? So you mentioned you were leading, right, and you had to take a step back. I know that felt very scary, but when you finally did release and let go, and everything just started falling into place, tell me how that felt.
So it's a day to day, minute to minute, second to second walk, right? Being reminded even through, because in the mornings when I wake up, I not wake up, but driving when I start my day, gospel has to be playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
If gospel isn't playing, my day ain't start yet. Okay, and I'm sorry, and the reminder through what I'm listening, it helps me to remember that I'm not in this alone. I don't wake up and go, oh, I have faith as a mustard seed and I know it's going to happen. I start going, how am I going to do this?
Mm-hmm.
There is no window, no lights coming through. The door is shut. Where is the door? Then I'll hear, he'll never leave you nor forsake you.
Mm-hmm.
Did not build you up to break you down. You
Yeah.
are the head and not the
Not the
tail.
tail.
Okay? And then there's this one song through this particular season, a new song. And the song is called Season by Marquise. It's a song that I discovered 3 weeks ago. I didn't go searching. I was going crazy in my head, doing
Mm-hmm.
all the thinking. The song came on. Listen to the song, bawling tears. All right,
Of
feel
those
good. Feel like I could go again. The next day, around the time my head started tripping up, the song came on. But I found throughout this particular season, every time my head moved towards, or my thinking moved towards um, something negative, I would say, right? That would break my spirit and the
Mhm.
continuity of what is happening here. The song came on,
Mm.
and
That was
that
God.
was my reminder of faith,
Yes.
not in this by myself. And stop thinking that you know everything, girl. Jump behind God because God is trying to be in front of you.
Yes. Amen. 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 Okay. I think we hit most of the points. So I'm going to, what time is it? I know you gotta get back. So
I
I'll
have a
give,
little stalker that keeps
I
moving.
heard her.
She
I
moves
feel
from
like
the
I can
left
see a shadow.
to the right. So this is me, guys. Like, please hold on, hold on. So now she's on this side, but she's gonna move to the side.
Elizabeth, we're almost done. Thank you for cooperating. She did amazing. I thought she would have came in already. So this is good. All right. This is so if this is my final takeaways, guys. All right. So if there's one thing I hope people have leave with tonight, sorry, is this. Self-care is not selfish. It is a form of support. It's one way we remind ourselves that we are still worthy of care even while grieving. And this does not mean you have to go to a beauty salon every time for self-care. You can practice self-care in your house. Okay. I've literally started massaging my face when
Hmm.
I put lotion on, and that has helped tremendously. People, if you do this a few times down your forehead, that helps tremendously. Stress is stored in your face muscles, your jaw, all of those things. Giving yourself a massage is totally free. So, yes, I think you should visit Studio Nikki Spice, but that is not always the answer. All right. I do want to thank you all for joining us tonight, for being a part of this conversation. We made this fun. It was not heavy. I told you guys it wasn't going to be heavy. I wasn't going to make fun of you if you didn't brush your teeth or ain't call me here in 5 days. I've been there. It's all about motivating you to get up. All right. Get up, girl. It's summer. We
It's
outside. Okay.
summer. Get that good vitamin D.
You are navigating grief. You're looking for a community, you support intentional healing practices. I do invite you guys to join my upcoming Life After Loss cohort experience beginning this July. July 8th, we go live. It's a 6 week system that I've set up. We're going to meet once a week, and we have a lot of cool things and some people that's joining us too. Together, we'll be exploring like journaling, gratitude release, intentional healing, community support, legacy building, and of course, just figuring out a supportive environment. Liz, I'm almost done. Healing doesn't happen overnight, people, okay? But you don't have to do it alone, all right? Thank you again, Nikki,
Yes.
Elizabeth, okay? Studio Nikki Spice for sharing your wisdom, your expertise with us tonight. You were in the thick of it and you still showed up. This is why we love you. This is why we hold you down continuously. If you're watching this, please like, share, subscribe so we can continue this conversation.
Yes.
I'm sorry if you joined the first live and you did not, catch on this one. This will be on replay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. Giving you guys back some time today. Have a great evening and see you next time.
This
Oh,
was
next live will be in July. Stay tuned. Have a good one.
all right. See you soon.
Bye.